una cita. Sufro pérdidas de memoria a corto plazo. Es cosa de familia. O eso creo, al menos. ¿Dónde están?
¡Dory! ¿Estás ahí?
Chicos.
¡Cuidado! Mira, fíjate. Nuestra amiga está atrapada en lo que quiera que sea ese sitio.
Es un hospital de peces.
¡Yo me siento de maravilla!
Tío. Me llamo Hank.
Tengo que encontrar a mi familia.
Eso es complicado, pequeña.
Yeah, I don't make films for other people in a weird way. I don't think about whether it's for a certain age group. I mean, ever since Toy Story, all I've ever done is written something that a story I would just like to tell, and I'd like it to be complex, and I'd like it to be as engaging as that, so that any age can enjoy it. I just make sure I just don't exclude the children, but I feel like you're not being honest if you're not just writing a story that you just want to tell. Well, because Dory was.
Yeah, and I think, and Nemo, I guess, it was too. I mean, meaning it was, those are important traits to each of their characters, and they just happened to be kind of, you know, challenges or flaws, and that was always kind of the issue with Dory.
Yeah, that was Dory's issue. I mean, that she saw herself as
flawed
because of her handicap, so I had to address it.
And then the thing about Dory as a character that I think is really great, and it was true in the first film, is that she doesn't see anybody else that way. I mean, she doesn't define anybody else by their flaws. She kind of only defines herself by her flaw, and I think that was why it also helped to have other characters around her that had kind of obvious flaws or were questioning whether or not they were defined by their flaws, and letting Dory kind of not define them that way.
She didn't appreciate that her forgetfulness is a strength. I mean, she can't remember your name, she can't remember who the Spanish football team is, she can't remember what her favorite color is, but that keeps her in the moment and makes her very present and just open to whatever's going on right then and there, and that's a strength. Like, a lot of people can't do that. I certainly can't do that. So that allows us to like show how only she could do certain things that other people couldn't. I don't ever think like, it's funny, it's a question I've never asked myself. I really don't. I don't know.
Well, I also think though that there's something about, we know that she's okay. I mean, you know, and I think that because we know, I mean, we know that she's okay. We see her as an adult. We know her as an adult. So seeing kind of memories of hers as or moments of her childhood, there's something that allows you to kind of lean into that a little bit, I think, because the audience knows that she's going to be okay, and therefore I think it allows us to kind of be a little more truthful about kind of the emotion or the sadness or the fear that her parents had, having, you know, a daughter who struggled that way. So I think we just wanted to be true to what we thought, you know, she would be going through and what her parents would be going through, and the fact that we kind of knew she was okay allowed us to do that. I mean, we test it, but we test it just to see if we're confusing or if they're not understanding something that we're trying to say.
Yeah, it's just for clarity.
It's usually for clarity, or if a lot of times what it is that if a joke, we forget that a joke is funny because we've seen it so many times.
It'll save the joke from being cut.
Or that we have to give time for the audience to laugh before we say the next line. So it's stuff like that usually the audience tells us.
Who knows? I mean, it certainly everything slowly evolves with the era and with the times. I'd like to think so, but I'd like to think that anything that comes up that's a social or political or a religious issue or thing will just always come up honestly through the narrative of the story. We've never tried to go into a story with an agenda of preaching anything. Even if you think there's environmental messages or other things, they are always in service to, because that's what the story demanded for the characters. So if they who knows what'll come up? Maybe all of that, but it'll be because the story asks for that.
Bueno, eso es algo muy concreto, pero algo así.
Mi familia está por ahí, en algún lugar. No podré encontrarlos yo sola.
¡Aguanta, Dory! ¡A surfear, tío! ¡Genial!